Good evening and welcome to Life Raft Debate 2017, where you get to pick who's getting off the raft. We are your hosts, Khalil Kyles.
And I'm Andrew Argate, and I'm absolutely excited for this Life Raft debate, as we have last year's winner, Andrea Eckelman, looking to reclaim her title. But she's got some stiff competition. Representing social work, we've got Brendan Beal. Representing environmental studies, we've got Susan Kaplow. And representing biology, we've got Heather Tinsley. It's going to be a fun one.
So we hope you guys are very interested in waiting to see who's going to come up and who's going to take this raft. Andrew, who do you think is going to take the raft this year?
I mean, it's hard to bet against Andrea Eckelman. She won it last year. I don't see her losing this year. It's going to be a great one. But, I mean, it's anybody's game, really, but my bet's on Andrea. Who you got?
I'm going to go for Susan this year. She's representing the environmental studies. I don't know. I just feel as though she has that oomph, and she's going to take it this year. So I'm going to have to go against you this year for it. Okay. But I can't leave out, Brennan Bill and who else Heather Tinsley. I can't leave them out either. But I'm going to have to go with Susan this year. I'm going to have to go with Susan.
I mean, it's a smart choice. I've asked some people in the crowd. They say that Brendan Beal is actually quite a favorite. So it seems like a pretty split house. Everybody's got some favorite. Everybody's got somebody that they're choosing. And overall, I'm just excited to see where this goes and where it leads. So I'm excited. I hope you are, and I hope we are at home too.
Well, thank you guys for joining us this evening. We'll be starting in a few moments. And we're back. Here I have Lito Hilario. Lito has graduated. You graduated last year, right, Lito? In May. Lito graduated last year, but this is not his first time here at the Life Raft Debate. How many years have you been here for the Life Raft Debate, Lito?
My 5th year at the Life Raft Debate. It's always fun. It's always great. Yeah.
Well, Lito, let me ask you a question. Out of all the contestants we have here this evening, who do you want to win?
Dr. Tinsley, why would I not want someone who is an expert in biology and science and all of that to help rescue us from the apocalypse? Why not? That sounds better than political science. Social work's all right, and environmental studies is okay, but I feel like biology is a lot better.
Okay, well, let me ask you this question. If you could choose one person to kick off the raft tonight, who do you want to be kicked off?
Ooh, well, I wasn't too excited about last year's winner, so, maybe that one. I don't want to double repeat on that one.
Okay, well, you do know, like you said, she won last year, and if she does win again this year, would that make you feel some type of way?
Most definitely, I was not expecting that win last year.
Okay. Well, Lito, I would like to say thank you for coming here and standing with me this evening for me to interview you. I hope you have a good night. I hope you have fun. And again, give Miss Tinsley a shout out, please.
Oh, most definitely. Go, Dr. Tinsley, you got this.
Thank you, Lito. And we'll be back, you guys. Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Madison Friley, and first off, Madison, so reigning champ Andrea Eckelman is here.
Yes.
She won last year. What do you think her odds are of winning again? Are you betting on her?
Yeah, I think she has a good chance. Poli-sci is my minor, so I'm really rooting for her. I know a lot about it, and I think has a really good shot.
So you definitely have a favorite in this one.
Yeah, I'm rooting for her. I think that she has a really strong argument, but I'm really excited to see what the others are going to say.
All right, and do you think she's going to go ahead and win the whole thing, or?
I think it's a strong possibility. I don't know any of the other professors except for her, so it's going to be a tough one.
Okay. Well, since you don't know any of the other professors, let's just base it off the majors they're representing. So, political science, social work, environmental studies, and biology. If you were in the Life Raft debate, who would be getting the boot first?
I want to say biology, just because I really don't know a big argument to make, because it's so specific. So I'm really interested to see how they're going to try to win this.
All right. Well, that's Madison Friley here at the Life Raft debate. Thank you so much. Back to you guys.
Feels like I could win if we just got the vote going now. I'm just kidding. I already won. I'm not greedy like some of these other people. Welcome to the 20th annual Life Raft Debate. This being the 20th means I've been teaching here for 22 years, which is the longest I've ever been at a place and still had any friends. So this is a special night for me because it takes a lot of friends to get this done. Notwithstanding the panelists, there's a lot of people behind the stage and behind the other scenes that I want to talk about. Real quickly, before we get on to the main event. Dr. Jay Cofield and the crew from his mass comm classes are providing the video coverage, which you can watch live streaming or anytime on YouTube at Montevallo for You, I think is the name of the channel. I'm sure it's on the website, though. Marion Brown and her legions of minions who run Palmer Hall. It could never happen without them. And I mean little yellow minions, you know, like, although Marion's not despicable. Dr. Kristen Gilbert brought the Scantron machine that lets us count the giant piles of Scantrons so we can actually have a real vote. Steve Forrester, Dr. Steve Forrester, does all sorts of things behind the scenes. He runs the timer, too, that will make people get nervous when they talk for too long. Dr. Steve Parker has been a long-term supporter, and I just thought I'd thank him because he came by and said hi. My wife, Cheryl, for putting up with all of this all the time. And Cheryl also is to be thanked for bringing in the food, the refreshments for the panelists, which I called the last breath of the eclipse for refreshments. I know. Philosophy Club members, all participants, past, present, and future, and especially our new provost and vice president of academic affairs, Dr. Jim McDonald, who's clearly going to do this next year, right? Yes. Somebody told me he was interested but wanted to see one first. And those are dangerous words if I ever hear that you've said them. And we have, thanks to the Green Fund, which is a first of its kind in this state, or was, tax imposed by students on students to support green-related projects on campus, these reusable, environmental-friendly water bottles that have been filled up at hydration stations on campus, which keep you from throwing away all the plastic in the world that shows up in the middle of the Pacific in this really creepy island. Go watch Nat Geo and see the creepy plastic island video. And last but not least, all the great audiences we've had over the years. So thank you. We're going to start out filling up the stage from this end to this for logistical reasons. So that means first we bring on from biology, Dr. Heather Tinsley. Why you gotta be hating on plague? It's just an organism trying to get along. Next we have from environmental sciences, Dr. Susan Kaplow. And she has a +1. She might have had something to do with the Environmental Club and the Green Fund and the hydration stations and the bottles and all. After that, we have Dr. Brendan Beal from social work. And in a first for the Life Raft debate, last year's winner, Andrea Eckelman, decided she could just mail in a video rather than show up in person, I guess because she's so confident. So we'll have a look at that now.
Oh no, no sound.
We'll get it.
Listen, things have been so great since you elected me winner of the Life Raft last year and sent me to DC to set things right. Of course, as I'm sure you can imagine, I had the biggest crowd in the history of the world there to greet me, which was a harbinger of the great things to come. I know that many of you have been concerned about Kim Jong-un and nuclear war. I have heard those concerns, and I want you to know I have dealt with them personally. I have traveled to the DMZ, and it turns out all he needed was a sympathetic ear. He's actually really tender-hearted when you get to know him. I also have worked on your concerns about the wall, and it turns out the better solution is actually this beautiful moat. But you know what we have not been able to solve? The issue of fake news. And I'm worried that Dr. Patton is telling you that the world is ending again. We've got to get on a life raft again. But it just simply isn't true. Things are going great. But you know what else we've learned over the last year? Anything is possible, including teleportation. Just give me 1 second.
Well, I guess I'll play his little game one more time. So, hello. I spent last year trying to convince you guys that political science wasn't politics, but rather the study of the philosophy of government, and the history of government, that it's the study of laws and how our understanding of those laws fit into how we think society should function. I made the case to you that political science is the study of what a government owes to its citizens and what we as citizens owe to our government. Then, of course, as I'm sure you will remember, I showed you my mad katana skills, as well as the fact that I'm ambidextrous, how well I drink wine, and that's right. And how much our Falcon legacy loves me. All of which are still true. However, I'm going to breeze past that tonight, and I want to focus on the responsibilities that we owe our government and how we can sort of achieve those. So my main message to you tonight is never forget that you have a voice and you should use it. Politics, especially our brand of politics, is your voice, and you have to use it. That doesn't mean, though, that you shouldn't listen to what the other side has to say. Politics depends, nay thrives, on each of us listening to our fellow citizens. And it is through listening to our fellow citizens, especially those who disagree with us, like my panelists will disagree with me tonight, that helps us develop and hone our thoughts and our beliefs. Being informed and talking to one another is the cornerstone of political science. After all, our founding fathers did not all agree, but we ended up with this wonderful Constitution because they listened. They listened and they compromised. Which brings me to the next duty that you owe your government, and that is compromise. Politics and political science is the art of compromise. Without it, we fail and end up in a nuclear Armageddon, as Dr. Patton has told us. But we must be willing to talk, to listen, to compromise, especially on a life raft. It's very small, it's a tight space. And so tonight, I'd like to put forth to you that political science is discourse, which is critical to reinstating our nation. And lastly, I just want to remind you that I am able to BYOO. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Eckelman. I kind of got lost there singing Kumbaya to myself for a while.
That was my intention.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, next up, perhaps he can fix our dysfunction, is Dr. Brendan Beal.
Whoa. Yeah, well, hey, social work, right?
Social work in action.
Yeah. I was already very nervous, and we didn't plan that. Okay. Hello, my name is Brendan Beal. I'm representing social work. It's a pleasure, thank you, and an honor to be up here on this stage with these brilliant people. I would love to be able to say I am the smartest person up here, but I know for a fact that I'm not. So, hey, what I can rely on is my program and the skills that a social worker can bring and the practicality that social work has with solving our problems. And indeed, we have a lot. We're in a life raft, right? So I'm going to go through a few of the ethical principles of a social worker, all right? And the first one is service. Service to humanity, service to people. It's something that I did when I was an actual social worker, and yes, I had a career before I got here to Montevallo. As a social worker, I worked in the field, and now it's something that I continue to strive for, and it's something I will continue on that life raft. If you choose to bring me along, I will serve you. You should never doubt my commitment to humanity. Another ethical principle is building relationships with other humans. I'm taking this straight from the Social Worker Code of Ethics right here. And you might say, maybe, oh, that just means, that's straightforward, that's simple. But I've practiced it, okay? It was part of my job for a long time, and it continues to be part of my job. Building rapport with people, maybe so you build trust, and so maybe then you can solve those problems of the future because you have that relationship built. It's something, again, I did in my job, I do here now with my students and colleagues. It's something I'll do on the Life Raft. You all seem like great people. I can't wait to meet you all. The final principle I'll talk about is the dignity and worth of a person. This is one of the, again, in the Code of Ethics for social workers. This is treating people with respect. And you might say, Brendan, what are you talking about? That's just the golden rule. Anyone can do that. Well, nay. But a lot of people talk the talk. I say social workers walk the walk, truly. It's not just rhetoric, okay? Yeah, you can say you get along with everyone. Maybe you go even further. I hear people, I respect everyone, and I don't even see race. I don't see social class. Yeah, frickin' right. Okay. I don't buy it. Not only do I don't think that's true. Number two, it might even be disrespectful to not celebrate our differences. We are unique. We're people. That's who we are. I think it's fine to say that. I think it's fine to celebrate our differences and still respect each other. I can do it. I'll tell you how. One example of how I've done it. I was a social worker for a little bit. I was a child abuse investigator. I don't mind saying that's a hard job. All right, I much prefer this job. I love my colleagues here. I loved my colleagues then, but it was a very hard job, and sometimes I would work with people that I did not agree with. I would work with people I would never be friends with. I would work with people that were hard to work with, and I found myself going on cases, knocking on doors, and a colleague of mine would say, oh, you're going to see him? He's a scumbag. Good luck. Or you're going to see her? She did drugs while she was pregnant or something like that. Good luck. Okay? Hey, it's true. It's true. This is real life. I'm bringing real life to this stage right now. And I would try every time, and I'm not perfect. I'm still not perfect with it. But I would try every time to knock on the door and extend my hand like they were President Stewart here at Montevallo, like they were anyone. And I would say, hello, I'm Brendan Beal. I'm a social worker. If you let me in, we can talk. I can listen to your story. And we can help solve those problems together. And I would do that. I would continue to do that for you. On the Life Raft, solve some problems together. I hope you choose me. Before I leave, though, I will show a few pictures because you should know who I am. We're going to be sitting next to each other for weeks, months, years, whatever like that. So this is... So I do not show this to prove how big my muscles are. I would never take off my shirt in front of a crowd like this. I am not Dr. Barone. Wherever he is. I think in the future, in the coming decades, maybe Photoshop skills will be in high demand. So hey, there you go. I've proven it. All right. These are my dogs. All right. Yeah, hey, whatever. So these are my dogs. I live with all 6 of them, and I can build relationships and communicate with animals and people. So hey, there you go. This is Shoot. This is my name in the papyrus font, if you're into that. Okay, here we go. This is a picture of the only boxing match I've ever had, and I don't put this up here to say how hard I hit, how aggressive I am. I lost this match. That guy beat the crap out of me. I'm 0-1, lifetime record in boxing, but here's what I can do. I can take a hit, and I will come back and I will continue to fight, and that's what I'll do for you if you vote me into the Life Raft. I won't set up this next slide. I'll just leave you with it, and I'll say, if you vote for Brendan Beal, you are voting for humanity. Thank you very much.
Don't walk over the cables. Or rather, don't not walk over the cables. So, Brendan, you might want to try looking a little less like a Jehovah's Witness or a Mormon when you're knocking on people's doors. I mean, I kind of value my Saturdays, and I'm just saying. And I think you might get more votes for not being Dr. Barone than for being yourself, given the applause. That was weird. Anyway, now we have the lovely Dr. Susan Kaplow +1.
Hey, y'all. All right. Thank you all so much for giving me the chance to advocate for why my discipline, environmental studies, should be allowed to share the boat with you fine people. Pretty trees to make everybody happy. All right. First, let me define environmental studies, as it's a relatively new discipline and may not be familiar to everyone. Environmental studies is an interdisciplinary academic field in which we study human interaction with the environment in the interests of solving complex problems. So with this definition in mind, I have 3 main points to argue for my inclusion in the Life Raft. First, environmental studies can help us understand what went wrong to bring us to this place. We are here on this boat because of a nuclear catastrophe, as you know, and I am willing to bet that that happened because of maybe conflict related to resource depletion. Before the apocalypse, if I remember correctly, humans used water, fossil fuels, soils, trees, ecosystem services, pollution sinks, and other natural resources at an unsustainable rate. Do you guys remember that? Anyway? All right. Scarcity of these types of resources has historically led to conflict, as both past and our current predicaments have shown us. So environmental studies can give us a multidisciplinary explanation for why and how we did this to ourselves so that we can avoid it in the future. Which brings me to my second point. Environmental studies is a solutions-oriented field in which we develop theories and practices with the ultimate goal of cultivating a more sustainable society. One with a healthy environment, a robust economy, and just equitable distribution of resources among all people. So environmental studies brings lots of ideas of how we can create this sustainable society. For example, environmental studies scholars know how to make efficient and creative use of limited resources. We know how to generate energy from renewable sources, how to implement sustainable farming systems, how to build structures to minimize energy needs while maximizing comfort, how to live with less consumption in a way that does not compromise our happiness, and how to design systems and products with a cradle-to-cradle model so that we can eliminate the very concept of waste in our new society, which sounds amazing. And of course, the environmental studies scholar can teach others on the boat how to do these things as well, and teach them how to invent new, previously unseen sustainable systems that we will find critically necessary in the post-apocalyptic rebuild. While of course, we wish we could have implemented these ideas before the nuclear catastrophe to save all of the people who are no longer with us, but fortunately now we have a clean slate, and so we can build our civilization from scratch using sustainability principles, innovations, and mindsets. Now, of course, there's also the question, why bring me, Susan Kaplow, on the boat? Well, as an ES scholar, I'm also a lifelong personal enthusiast of sustainability principles, and I have training in a variety of ES-related areas that will help us rebuild. First, I worked in outdoor education for several years before I came back to school, and I taught wilderness skills, very important, and I explored landscapes on several different continents. So I am prepared to contend with whatever landscapes and elements that we will find in our new world, because we don't really know what we're gonna get. Second, I also learned how to care for and train many different types of wild animals in my career, so I can enlist the help of our, oh, it went back, sorry, this one. So I can enlist the help of our furry and feathered friends in the rebuild. So you can see there's some birds, there's some tigers. If you want tigers, I know how to take care of those. And those are rats, which you better believe there's gonna be rats on that boat and we're gonna need their help. So I know how to train rats. And then, of course, as you've already seen this slide, I have a sustainably designed, dang it, what? I don't need to use PowerPoint on the boat. It's not gonna be a skill I need. Third, I have a sustainably designed agricultural system at my home in which I maintain a compost pile, I collect rainwater for my garden, I grow vegetables organically, and I keep chickens, there they are, who are very friendly and adorable. All of these farming skills will be useful to help us grow our own food once we find land. And perhaps most importantly, I bring with me the possibility and hope for the next generation as I bring my unborn daughter in her very own personal life raft. And she will help us jumpstart the next generation in our new sustainable society. That's right, you get to save 2 lives for a single boat ticket. Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. I may not be a mathematician, but that is a good deal. And in a few months, you will get an adorable baby who will help us have the hope we need to triumph over adversity. And so I think that's a pretty good deal. So in closing, environmental studies is a discipline designed for this very moment. And what better time than now to start building our new, improved, sustainable future? Thank you.
How does Arthur feel about being left behind?
Oh, let's ask him.
He's cool
I'm just kidding. Let me know how those reusable diapers work out.
I'm just going to hold the baby over the boat.
Oh, okay, okay. All right.
Can we check the rules? Is this allowed? Can 2 come for 1?
I don't know. We might have to have an executive committee meeting, whether we can get a 2 for 1.
Also, if I win, I'm bringing my baby next year.
It's coupon night on the Life Raft. All right, now we have Dr. Heather Tinsley from biology.
Well, I feel welcome. All right. So the hard part of going last, my format looks a little like Dr. Kaplo's. I promise I didn't cheat. You can check the PowerPoint. So we've all been through a very traumatic event, right? I have one question I want to ask you right now. What is it that you want more than anything right now? I all have pizza, but I'm guessing a few of you said to live, right? Maybe at least 1 or 2. So why am I, a biologist, best suited to help you live? Well, in case you didn't bring your dictionaries, if this will work, the very definition of my discipline, biology, is the study of life. So who better to help you than a biologist, right? All right, so if that's not enough to convince you, let me give you some specifics. So as I see it, there's 4 things that you are going to need to survive in the coming days. And I, much better than anyone else on this stage, am the person to help you get over these things. So let me go through them with you. To start, we have medicine. After this disaster, many of you are likely to be quite injured. Medicine is a discipline within the biological sciences. So clearly, I am skilled to help, right? Check out my lab coat, yeah? Like a physician, I too wear a lab coat. And, okay, so I know physicians have MDs, I have a PhD, but it was granted by UAB's School of Medicine. Who else has a degree from a School of Medicine? Any of you? I didn't think so. Now, that degree is in pharmacology and toxicology. That means I know quite a bit about some poisons, which you're probably going to encounter in this nasty new world. And I also know a lot about drugs, which you're going to need to cope physically, of course, maybe mentally, we'll see. Still not convinced of my medical skills? Check this out. I've kept these two tiny humans alive for 3 years and 6 years. And guess what? They're past the crying, pooping, and the diaper stage, so they're better than someone else's baby. Sweet baby. I've also kept this big human alive for almost 15 years. So I feel like that's a pretty good track record, right? Now, once we've gotten your medical needs taken care of, your next greatest need, as Dr. Kaplow so nicely mentioned, is food, right? Agriculture is another discipline within the biological sciences. The first lab job I ever had was in a plant physiology lab, where I spent my days working to genetically modify food crops to withstand harsh environmental conditions. What harsher environmental condition is there than a post-nuclear world, right? Well, I don't have very many fans of frankenfood, so let's move on. I've also grown food with my own 2 hands. That's my first baby squash that I ever grew. Baby, cute baby squash. Also doesn't cry. And I ate it, and I lived to tell you about it. So that's a good sign. I'm a regular farmer, right? In addition to food, Dr. Kaplow, I don't know if she mentioned this, but you're also going to need something to drink, right? Our water is probably pretty contaminated, but that's okay. If you give me a pot and a fire, I can distill all the clean drinking water you need. You know what else distillation is good for? That's right. I can help you with that too. Now wait. Some of you may not be fans of hard liquor. But that's okay. Fermentation is another biological process with which I am quite familiar. So whether your preference is water, liquor, beer, or wine, I'm the girl that can help you get it, all right? So those are the 3 things that you're gonna need to get over the immediate crisis, right? So you need medicine, food, and something to drink. There's still one more thing that you're gonna need if the human race as a whole is gonna survive. That's right. Reproduction. Now, you are all young, virile members of the animal kingdom with your own innate animal instincts. I'm not even going to pretend that you need my help to reproduce. You've got that covered, right? But what you don't realize, since you're not biologists, is that what this has put you through is what we refer to as a genetic bottleneck, which means you have a very tiny gene pool. As someone who was born and raised in Alabama with 2 grandparents from Kentucky, come on, now you can come up. I understand tiny gene pools, all right? But I also know how to work the math to make sure that we can maximize the genetic diversity that we have so that you don't end up like that scene from Deliverance. So, in closing, just remember, if you want to live, then you need to vote for the only person on this stage who has devoted her whole career to the study of life. Thank you.
Is it just me, or did it take kind of a weird turn there when we started talking about eugenics? Anyway, thanks very much, Dr. Tinsley. And now for a brief rebuttal each, we'll start off with Dr. Eckelman from Political Science. just continue on down the line.
Okay. Whew, this is a hard one this year. All right. So I will say that while I would never, ever question the handsome Dr. Beal's question or commitment to humanity, I'm here again. I time traveled to be here. I have a commitment to humanity. Now, Dr. Kaplan was going to solve complex problems with environmental studies, but I solved Kim Jong-un with a margarita, which leads me, right, I know that group back there knows what I'm talking about.
You need liquor for margaritas.
Do what?
You need liquor
No,
for
no, no, no,
margaritas.
that brings me to my next point. Hold on. So, Dr. Tinsley wants you to make your own alcohol. But here's what had happened. When Eclipse decided to close, womp womp, I went into serious Armageddon mode and started ordering every case of wine under the sun from Cheryl Patton. So you can be super lazy on my life raft. And I've got the paddle to paddle us, and then you can just drink the wine. You don't even have to make it. It's going to be fine.
It will run out.
No, it won't. It won't.
Where to begin? Okay, so Dr. Eckelman's katana skills, I just want to mention last year, I was very impressed with him, especially because it was my katana in that picture. So it's my katana. She also mentions that, political science, talking about disagreement, solving disagreements. Well, I put it into practice. I don't theorize about it. Yeah, in the classroom I still talk about it, but I've done it. I have talked across to families that are in need and things like that. So disagreements, they're my specialty. Let me mention Dr. Patton. I can't believe he brings my beard into play. Okay, I didn't think we would talk about hairstyles or anything like that. I'm not even really gonna go off. It's not up for discussion. I'm gonna keep the beard if I want to. So, environmental studies. This is more personal, but babies take up more resources. Pregnant people need more resources. I don't know when you're due, but it's going to be a while before
we don't consume extra calories, just maybe 100 or 200, but thanks for asking.
I don't know. So where's her citation? Yeah. And biology, there's where to begin. I took the most notes on Heather Tinsley. Okay, so she's talking about a lot of the camping skills, the water, the food, things like that. What did she say? I don't know. Camping skills, that kind of things. I was a Boy Scout, and if we have fire, if we can boil water, we can do it. If we have tools, we can hunt, we can grow things. Okay, I think we'll all get through that together. And actually, she mentioned that all our disciplines, that she's the best discipline. We need all of us, honestly, but we can only take one. You can only decide one. So I feel like I can do a lot of what she does. Not everything. She did. Sorry. This one I found hilarious. I thought of it. I'm proud of it because I realized that she said she got a degree in toxicology and pharmacology. She can't even get a job in her discipline. Thank you very much.
It's on.
I thought this was gonna be like a really respectful thing because we're all friends, but guess not. Dang. Woo! Burn. All right. Just wait it out. Just wait it out. It's good. All right. Y'all, listen. I know that it is hard to choose between all of these wonderful people and disciplines. I am also struggling with this sadness that we're all great. I think we're all pretty awesome. I'm friends with all these people, and I really would like for all of us to come with. But here's the really great thing, is that environmental studies is an interdisciplinary field, so you will get the benefits of all of these disciplines rolled into one. In fact, fun fact, every single panelist up here with me has taught a course listed to environmental studies. Dr. Eckelman has taught environmental policy. Dr. Beal is currently co-teaching social marketing for social change, and Dr. Tinsley has co-taught environmental justice and economics of environmental toxicology. So, if you vote for environmental studies, you actually get to take all of us with you in spirit. Isn't that fun? Yay! And of course, if you're not in one of these fields, in addition to political science, social work, and biology, UM faculty have listed courses in environmental studies that originate in communication, art, philosophy, marketing, management, history, English, sociology, economics, math, education, and geography. So, if you pick ES, you will get all of those disciplines, and that is a really great thing, because a vote for ES is a vote for inclusion and interdisciplinary collaboration, which is great. And of course, the specific things that they've talked about on this panel are also related to ES. We heard about the need for discourse and communication from Dr. Eckelman, which is also part of ES. Toxicology, food, water, as Dr. Tinsley mentioned, is also part of ES. And service to humanity, also part of ES. And of course, I also want to bring up the originality and newness of environmental studies. Environmental studies is a really young field. We're like 40 years old maybe. And so, so that puts us at a little disadvantage. We've never won this debate before, and I'll tell you that I learned backstage earlier that biology has won every single time it's been entered in this debate. So if you want to pick a new winner, not the same biology that you get every time, you could pick environmental studies.
New biologist.
And of course, even though environmental studies is a new idea, you know what else is a new idea? Dippin' Dots. And you know what the ice cream of the future is? Is Dippin' Dots. And you know what the discipline of the future is? Environmental studies. Thank you.
All right, it's a little hard to compete with Dippin' Dots, and there's been a lot of like kumbaya, and I do love all of these people very much, and this is hard, but it's got to be done because it's survival here, guys. So we'll start with political science. Dr. Eckelman pointed out that political science isn't politics. So my question is, what is it? I mean, the name has science, but is it a real science?
Yes,
I mean,
yes, it is.
Science is the study of nature. What's natural about political science?
I can run a regression like you wouldn't believe.
And then just to kind of add to that, like, what is the abbreviation for political science, Dr. Eckelman?
I didn't make it up. I blame Dr. Turner.
POS. All right. So moving on, Dr. Beal. Dr. Beal, y'all, what he said really isn't a dig against me. It's against your university. I mean, just because UM doesn't offer pharmacology doesn't mean that it's not a great place for a pharmacologist to work, to teach you fine, wonderful students about drugs, again. I'm losing my page. I'm sorry. Dr. Beal also talked about how we can celebrate our differences and we can solve problems together. Y'all, we're dying. We need to just solve the problems, right? That's what science does. And environmental studies. So yes, I have taught environmental studies courses, but I just want to point out, who did Dr. Kaplow approach when she needed an environmental science course taught? That would be me. That's right. And let's just face it, I mean, right now our environment's shot to hell anyway, right? let's focus on survival, and then when that survival is taken care of, we're alive, we're reproducing, making new babies that are pretty, not like that we saw, then I can whip out that environmental science. Not your baby, that baby, the deliverance guy. I'm not, no. I already dissed her baby. She also mentioned sustainability, renewable energy, waste. All of that is because of biology and science. She couldn't have any of those things without me. So while it would be nice that she can bring all of that in spirit, I bring reality, okay? Vote for me.
Remember, you get us both if you vote for me.
I mentioned I've been here for 22 years. All of these panelists are relatively recent hires. People got mean. I mean, damn. Now we have a brief closing statement for each of the panelists, and then, no?
I didn't realize that. It's like a sentence. It's like she's the only one that read the email.
Oh, well,
Unless it's in it,
if no one wants to do it, we can bring out the devil's advocate first, and then we can have a... The crowd wants the devil's advocate.
Okay.
Scott?
Bring him out.
Or not? There he is.
Why do you laugh? Is this not the face of absolute sincerity? Here we go again. I am the devil's advocate. You probably thought I was gone for good, but like a zombie, I keep on coming back. In fact, I have now participated in 5 Life Raft debates. Isn't that some kind of record? Oh.
Yeah.
Steve Parker, ladies and gentlemen. So perhaps not a record. But still, this is the 20th Life Raft debate. That is a big deal, right? The 20th. Come on. Yeah. And so I just like to point out, look what 20 years of debate has gotten us. Yeah. That's right. We're still stuck on the boat. The devil's advocate is supposed to question what all the panelists have been saying. But this time, I'm taking it a step further. I call into question the very debate itself. Do you ever feel like, in this day and age, there's too much arguing and too little action? Too much ugly rhetoric and too little understanding and compromise? The way we're constantly at each other's throats, on TV, on social media, everywhere. It's no wonder that civilization has fallen to pieces. There. I mean, look, it's the apocalypse. The world's already been destroyed, and they're still arguing. These professors have debated endlessly for 20 years while you all continue to float here. And now, here you are, caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. Literally. There, see? Well, enough is enough. In the words of one of my role models, Samuel L. Jackson, from the movie Deep Blue Sea, nature can be lethal, but it doesn't hold a candle to man. So we are not going to fight anymore. That's right. I am not going to criticize these people at all. For example, since we're still adrift on the ocean, Dr. Eckelman failed to deliver on her campaign promises last year, much like the politicians she so eagerly distanced herself from. I could criticize her for that, but I won't. Dr. Tinsley, instead of appealing to our better natures, you took the low road. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Those are our better sides some of the times. I'm just saying.
I could make this criticism. I could make it, but I won't. In fact, I won't attack Dr. Caplow for being shameless enough to play the pregnancy card in this debate. I won't do it. I refuse. And as for Dr. Beale, well, honestly, I don't think your dogs or your abs will fit on the raft.
We'll find room.
So you see, my heart is pure. I won't fight them at all. Instead, I come with an offering of peace. There's too much fruitless debate in this world right now. We should stop tearing each other down and start trying to create a better future for all of us. If you feel the same way I do, then please stand with me. Shake things up. Vote for the devil's advocate. Of course, if you do vote for me, that does entail, drowning them all. But don't think of it that way. Think of it as a vote for peace, for cooperation. That's what this world so desperately needs, way more than any of these academic disciplines. These people have been debating their hearts out, but let's face it, the apocalypse is here. The time for debate is past. We have to learn to work together. Thank you. And now that I have made my point, I hope, there is one last thing. I have a surprise gift for you all. As you know, this is the 20th LifeRaft debate, the 20th. And so I thought that calls for a bit of celebration, don't you think? Right? Yeah, it's the 20th debate. So for the finale, in the brief time I have left, I have a special presentation to honor all of the previous LifeRaft debate champions. a lightning-fast reenactment, so to speak, of how all 20 Life Raft debates were won. You think I can do it?
Yes.
I'm going to try. Think of this as my love letter to the Life Raft debate. Montevallo, I hope you enjoy the Life Raft debate, 20 years abridged. This is going to go fast. Keep your eyes glued to the screen. You ready? Here we go. The first debate. Oop.
So fast.
I'm in trouble already. Michael Sterner, he promised you no more word problems ever. And also, he knows how to make beer. Mike Hardig, without biology, there is no beer. Penny Tyson, yay English. Luke Hard, yay theater. Michael Patton, the first and perhaps last debate champion to literally carry the oar with him wherever he went. Steve Parker, I will not defend sociology because sociology does not need defending. Wilson Fallon, everything is part of history. Save history and you save everything. Zach Foster, psh, he just wanted to cook for you guys. Da 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 da. John Smith, the first devil's advocate to win. You people are actually having fun at this debate? You should be ashamed of yourselves. No, stop laughing. Seriously, how did he win? Scott Turner, political science. Benton Tyler, we were lost at sea, and he was the only one who thought to bring a compass. Stephanie Batke, well, the world has ended, but I'm sure the Canterbury Tales will make you feel better. Kevin Hope, we better not bring business with us on the raft, because if we do, we'll just have to bail them out later. Brett Norger, biology, it's all about beer, steaks, and Marvin Gaye. Me. Doing mathematics is like weightlifting with your mind. Robert Barone. He who forgets history is doomed to relive it. Ah! Me again. You shall not insult chess.
Oh, chess.
Andrea Eckelman. She watches The Walking Dead, so she also knows how to do things in the South. And finally, last but not least, this last one is up to you. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, everyone should have a ballot and a pencil. And in just a moment, voting instructions will be up on the screen. But you see the numbers there in front of the panelists. So you bubble in, as they say, A in the row that is listed. So 1A is a vote for Dr. Eckelman, 2A is a vote for Dr. Beal, 3A a vote for Dr. Caplow, 4A a vote for Dr. Tinsley, and 5A is a vote for the Devil's Advocate. So you can hold that up.
Stand there and hold that.
I'll see if I can get the graphic of that in just a second. But vote. People will be walking through the crowd to collect up your votes, and we will tally them. And I'll be out when it's all done to announce the winner. Twitter. Whatever you want. A lot of hate up here. I wouldn't stand too close to the edge the way y'all been going at each other. We had roughly 400 votes cast, and in the end, we got to do something about this. It was Scott Varagona again.
I retire. I am speechless. Speechless.
This will go down as the audience that drowned a baby. I hope you're happy. Dr. Varagona is vowing to retire. Thank you all for showing up. I hope you had as good a time as I did. And we'll see you next year with one last visit from Dr. Varagona, I'm afraid, unless he can completely retire. Thanks to all the participants and all the audience members and everyone that worked to make this a fabulous event.